Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how Chovy gaps lane using wave management. We're going to be playing the El Clasico Orianna versus Victor Mage versus Mage matchup. And the key to these matchups is the ability to win trades. And the way that we're going to set up trades is by our wave management. So wave management is key because in these matchups, we have a lot of range, a lot of skill shots flying around. The best way to consistently land skill shots is by timing it onto the enemy last hits. So the entire process that we're running into in this lane is creating these opportunities where we can hit the enemies when they are going for their CS, which then leads to us being in a position where we can hit them while they are standing still. And that is the idea behind the wave management. And Chovy is the master of managing the waves like that. And we're going to show exactly why that's the case. So we're currently in a neutral wave state position right here. It's a little bit, it's not neutral in the sense that it's in the middle of the lane, but it's a 6 versus 6 minion, which means that both these minions are going to die at the same time if no one interacts with it. The only thing is that they're slightly on Victor's side, so the next wave will come in earlier, which means that over the longer time, it's going to slow push into us. All is fine. We don't really care about that. What we care about is creating these opportunities where we can harass Victor onto the minions. Now, since we are in a slight lead with our items as Chovy, we want to be in a position where we desync minion HP so we can create trading windows onto the Victor. As you can see, both melee minions are now all full HP. If no one touches these melee minions, what's going to happen is that they're going to die at about the same time. This one's going to die a little bit faster because he's already getting hit by these creeps, but eventually the rest of these melee creeps will kick up. So what this Victor does is this Victor is out-attacking this first melee minion, and Chovy recognized that, hey, because he's out-attacking the first melee minion and it's getting focused by the creeps, this creep is going to be able to be contested for the Victor. Because of the fact that Chovy has no creeps to CS right now, he can easily harass Victor onto this minion, or Victor is forced to lose the creep. So Victor goes for Q, Chovy goes for QW. Good quality trade. And because Victor now uses key trading tool for him to be able to walk up, and Chovy has shorter cooldowns than Victor Q, we're in a position where we can now use this space in the lane to hit the minions and get even favorable states for us afterwards. So we can just collect the creeps right now, and on the next minion, we're going to try to harass the Victor again. So you see this creep right here? We are actively zoning him off. If Victor tries to get close to out-attack it, we have already controlled the space in the lane here, so we can easily QW him. So we're greatly zoning him off here. We're just doing a nice little Q into W. A really nice thing that Chovy did is he pushes his Q in the choke point, which forces Victor to walk through the choke point and always get landed by the W, or he's going to need to sacrifice all of this space and potentially risk losing XP. Of course, he's still in XP range here, but he's going to lose a lot of minions and it's going to be really hard for him to walk through. So this next wave state is a little bit awkward. I think Chovy made a small mistake, right? He used his E expecting the Victor E. This was pure anticipation, this E from Chovy, and then he used his Q to try to hit the Victor while CSing the creep, but we're now in a bit of a pickle. The reason why we're in a pickle is because this wave state is now being able to get held by the Victor, especially with Viego around. We're not in a good spot. So small mistake by Chovy, using his abilities a little bit too loosely, allowing Victor to hold the wave before hitting turret range. But Chovy does a fantastic job crashing this with a nice little QW and just barely dodging out on the Victor ult, which is really good because now we're in a position where Victor's lost his R. We've hit the QW onto the Victor and cleared the wave, high value spell usage, and we're instantly going to go back to pressuring Victor on his last hits. So as you can see, Chovy is incredible at creating trading opportunities. So his wave is dying slightly faster than Victor's wave. Saw what he did here. He queued these initial minions to desync minion HP, allowing him to be in a spot where he can clear this first melee minion, and now he can step up and harass Victor on this melee minion while none of his creeps are last hittable. Great QW, chunking Victor onto his last hit. And he's always in position to do so as well. Now he can't clear on this, he can't punish him on this next minion because he's too far away and he needed to harass his own creep. But we're really lucky because Victor used actually Q on that wave, which means that he's going to be basically forced back. Victor's fucked. He's got no spells, he's got nothing, got no HP. He's losing the small wins trading mindset, and we do a beautiful, beautiful max range QW. And because Victor is so far away, we can just take up the space in the lane and bump Victor as far away as possible as the minions, which means that he needs to run all of this space back into us if he wants to access these creeps. And that's the power of a slow push. A slow push like this is really, really, really powerful because it's going to force the enemies to step up closely to get access to the minions. He's not nuking the waves, bombarding them under the tower, which would lead to be in a position where Victor could just catch all the creeps for free on the tower with his E. You see that Victor tries to get the cannon. He's forced to use his flash for it. And a really beautiful thing that Chovy does is once again his Q is placed in the choke point right here. Remember these choke points? If he's playing Azir, he is doing the exact same thing. He's always using these chokes and the enemies are unable to posture outside of it. And they always get chunked or whatever whenever they run in. So we get the Victor flash, and since Victor has TP, he can now also just TP in. We're really milking, bleeding him dry here. And we just crash the wave because we can easily take the plate. It's really good to hard push the wave, even though the Victor gets the minions here, because we get the plate and it's always worth because it's a lot of money and it's a lot of stack quest progression. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. Next wave is going to be neutral wave state, and Chovy is the master at abusing this. Keep in mind, Victor's taking his reset, right? We have not taken our reset just yet. And this neutral wave state is going to be insane for Chovy. He's going to look to desync his minions HP bar once again. And if Victor goes for a last hit, or he tries to retake space, that's when we actually throw our spell onto it. And keep in mind how Chovy uses his QW. He uses it in the choke point again. This wall is an incentive for Chovy to use his spell. So Victor gets close, great. We can just QW him right here. There's no way for him to dodge it. Unless he has insane movement and baits it out perfectly at max range. So we're in a really good spot right now where what we do is we deny him that minion, we instantly replace the Q, and we're very, very mindful of the next upcoming wave states. In this case, we're going to look to hard push the wave into a reset because apparently we had enough money for the Roa. And instantly on this next wave state, we're going to look to pressure Victor as much as possible onto these minions. So what he does is he clears the wave. But in this case, he also tries to cancel Victor's space. Unfortunately, he doesn't really get it. And this next wave state is very, very, very interesting, okay? Because this is a neutral wave state again, in which that Victor is going to look to walk up. And if he hard pushes this, Victor can just catch everything for free on a tower. So he cleared all of the vision beforehand. And right now is the time where he's going to, after getting control and vision, he's going to now zone Victor off the creeps by using this neutral wave state. So Victor tries to walk in. Right? We're not going to allow him. And you see that we're trying to just prevent him from walking in. He does a lot of juking, right? He tries to initially dodge out on the spell, but we're playing a bit of a mind game. We're just waiting for him to get close, and we time it perfectly with the caster minion XP, right? Victor needs to walk up right now, otherwise he loses XP. So this is a great QW. Now, we're in a fantastic position where, once again, Victor is forced to use out his R, pretty shit R. He's just getting annihilated, right? It's just desperation R. And what we do is we do not kill this minion fast because we want this minion to be slow so that the wave doesn't stack up on his side, but rather more on the middle. The more it is on our side, the harder it is for Victor to walk up. You see what Chovy does? Chovy out-attacks this minion, in this case not a single time, because he recognizes that this minion is dying barely before this melee minion. And because of that, he can keep his full focus on the Victor while just slowly punishing him of CS. It's the key is desyncing minions. That's what he's trying to do. And he's putting his ball up nice and deep. Victor's going to be able to zap that last minion from a nice little distance. And we're just perfectly timing up our aggression at times when minions are dying. That's it, guys. He's just timing up his aggression at minions are dying. Repositioning his Q, creating space in the lane here. And we're going to look to step up. And if Victor ever makes a mistake, we can QW him. In this case, he's not going to be able to catch any of the minions. So what we see is this neutral wave state forces Victor to walk up close. And because of that, he's losing a lot of minions right there. Another minion denied. And in the meantime, we are just hitting the creeps ourselves. And because of the fact that Victor chose to E us, we're now in a position where he loses the cannon. You see how Chovy times it, makes it hard for Victor to walk in, and therefore he uses his QW. If Victor actually gets close, what's going to happen is we are going to ult him, and Victor then is going to get super chunked or potentially all in because he's got no flash, no R himself, he can't do much. And in the meantime, he's losing so many minions, and Chovy's doing a beautiful, beautiful job of timing his trades with a last hit. And once again, we keep a neutral wave state. We don't want a full freeze, by the way, in this matchup. A full freeze in this matchup can be a little bit awkward because of the fact that he might then be able to do stuff around the map. So a full freeze is something we want to avoid. We rather want to just keep it a little bit neutral and always have the position where we can move onto the map, just like this spot. We always have first move because we're winning the trades and we're doing a great job with the wave management. And in this case, we have a beautiful max range R. And starting from this point, the game is just unplayable for the Victor. The Victor dies here. It's absolutely an review. He's getting completely eviscerated in the lane, and it's purely by proper wave management, desyncing minions, and good spacing in the lane, in which that he takes up the space and pressures Victor every single time that he tries to walk in, leading him to be in a position where he loses a shit ton of HP every single time he goes for a creep. Chovy is really good at putting pressure onto the enemy laners simply by managing waves better than them and understanding what it means for each player on the map.